There are 31 million Americans taking GLP-1 drugs right now. What opportunities does this create when it comes to supplements? You're going to find that out today in this video. Hi, my name is Christian Baker. I am the founder and CEO of Profound Formulas. I've had 16 years in the dietary supplement industry, including time with GNC and AG1. Now I create supplements for companies that actually do something for their customers so they stay subscribed and come back time and time again. In today's video, we're going to explore what opportunities does the GLP-1 market present when it comes to dietary supplements. Category 1, protein. Protein has been a category that has been around for a long time. It's one of the earliest mainstream supplements. Originally, it was targeted purely at bodybuilders because whey protein has a very good amino acid profile. This means if you're trying to build muscle, you are giving it the building blocks, giving your body the building blocks it needs to reassemble these amino acids into new muscle. Also worked out pretty well because whey is a byproduct of making cheese and other dairy products. So when it began, that was a pretty cool way to monetize something which was otherwise given to animals or used in random food products, things that are not particularly that profitable. Now, interestingly, the demand for whey is so high that it's squeezing the total dairy industry, and they're running out of capacity to actually convert these excess whey into usable whey powder. So whey prices have spiked massively in the last 5 years especially, but quite sequentially over the last 20, 30 years. From bodybuilders, it started to go a little bit more broad. There were meal replacement products for people trying to lose weight instead of gain weight, because protein can help make you feel full. So if you combine it with some vitamins and things, you can make a low-calorie meal, which is quite complete. It's been taken up by other fitness people who are not bodybuilders, looking to maintain muscle, reduce soreness after working out. It's also started to capture more demographics. In the beginning, it was almost entirely male because people were terrified if they drank a protein shake, they would get massive muscles. So a lot of women were scared of taking it. Now, a ton of women take protein powders. So how does this apply to the GLP-1 market? So the GLP-1 market, people don't consume as many calories, and they are often pretty motivated to consume something that's useful. So what they can eat, they want it to do something. For example, protein is great because you need it for everything, but outside of building muscle, you need it for some pretty basic things like hair, skin, and nails. And a lot of people who lose weight very fast on these drugs end up with compromised hair, skin, and nails, just because the body is not getting enough nutrients, and it's also in kind of defensive mode because of all the weight loss. So protein is great for this market. Also, it's kind of hard for them to eat bigger portions of food, so protein powder is a bit more of a gentle thing to have than, say, a big chicken breast or a big steak. But the cool thing and the cool opportunity this creates with GLP-1 users and protein is that, unlike bodybuilders, they don't care if you give them a massive 30 grams of protein and hit certain kind of benchmarks. What people want is something that's enjoyable, will actually digest, will help them, but is also something they can, it's going to taste good and whatever. So you don't need to do this big 30 gram of protein attack. You can do things with 10 grams, 15, 20. You really don't have to go above 20. So this creates a ton of opportunities to make things taste better and have better textures, because anyone knows who has tried to mix something together either as a powder or a bar or a snack. When you're trying to hit 20, 25, 30 grams of protein, it's very hard to make it taste good and mix well. Plus, it also makes your product more expensive as well. So yeah, there are a ton of opportunities in this space. For examples, we are seeing protein soda. You'll see a protein soda on the shelf. It tastes like fruit because the protein is very clear, which is, again, another new technology which helps. It's sparkling because of the soda. And bodybuilders and fitness people will largely ignore it, but GLP-1 users and other weight loss demographic people, they love it. It's a light, refreshing way to consume some protein. There's low calories. And for companies making these products, they're having a lot of fun because they get to make things that are easier to make taste good and to have a better texture. Moving on. Product category number 2, fiber. So fiber is a big one. If you're a GLP-1 user, again, you can't consume as much food as you used to consume. Therefore, it's important that you get as much nutrition as you can out of the food you get. And fiber is often one of the first things to be sacrificed. Fiber is extremely important. You need it not just to be regular and go to the bathroom, but you need it to feed the bacteria in your gut so you have a good balance of bacteria. You also need it to prevent disease like colon cancer, which is on the rise. There's a ton of benefits of fiber, also immune system as well, because again, it's feeding the good bacteria. It's also good for helping you feel full, which doesn't really sound like a problem for people taking GLP-1s, but ideally they kind of do want to feel full because they're scared of going back to craving everything again. So fiber is a big one. Fiber also combines really well with protein. So you're seeing fiber and protein put together in a powder. For example, Supergut is a good example of a product nailing that. It's mostly fiber, but it has protein as well. You're seeing protein sodas, as I mentioned, in the protein category, also getting added fiber. And you are seeing fiber-rich gummies and fiber and protein gummies, fiber, protein plus electrolytes, all sorts of things. So fiber can be kind of put anywhere. But I do advise against going gung-ho with fiber, both when you're making a product and also if you're a consumer consuming these things. For anyone who's never really taken supplemental fiber, like inulin, which is a fantastic fiber, not to be confused with insulin, the dose really makes a difference. So you want to have enough so it actually does something to help feed the good bacteria in your gut. But when it comes to inulin, you only really need like half a gram to maybe 2-3 grams in a day to get a good positive effect. There's some supplements giving people 5, 10, 15 grams in one serving or one day. You give this to someone who's never supplemented with fiber before, they're going to be in the toilet within the next 20 seconds. This stuff will just go right through you. So be very careful. Introduce it slowly. Think about portions and things like that. Also avoid certain fiber types such as psyllium husk. It is advertised to everyone. It's the base of that product called Metamucil. It's normally targeted at older people who need help going to the bathroom. Psyllium husk is extremely thirsty. It just sucks up a ton of water. It makes you bloated, feel gross. A terrible thing for GLP-1 users because they're already having issues with bloating, with feeling full, and most people don't drink enough water. So if you have psyllium husk, it's really thirsty, and you don't drink enough water, you're likely to get bloating, discomfort, slower digestion, and also eventually headaches and things. Or in extreme cases, solidified fiber that gets stuck in the digestive system and you have to get it removed via surgery, which sounds crazy, but it's happened many times. So avoid psyllium husk, go for more gentle fibers like resistant starch, inulin, and beta-glucans. That is much better, both when designing a product and when consuming. Electrolytes are a big one. Moving on to category number 3, electrolytes. When losing weight, whether you're on these GLP-1 drugs or not, you tend to lose water along with stored muscle and fat. And this means you're going to be more dehydrated, you're going to have an imbalance of electrolytes, and if you just add water, but you're not adding in minerals, you're more at risk of dehydration, headaches, sluggishness, tiredness, things like that. So electrolytes are a great one for people on GLP-1 drugs. They don't have to consume a ton. You could consume 1 serving a day or even half a serving in those that have a lot of sodium. But if you can use it as something that also helps you drink more water, that's a fantastic strategy. Also, we're seeing combo products, electrolytes plus protein plus fiber, all these kinds of things. Works really well. That is something that still has plenty of room to run. Finally, moving on to the last category, category 4, is digestive support. So one of the biggest negative side effects reported with GLP-1 use is digestive issues. Sometimes mild digestive issues such as bloating, gas, feelings of slow digestion and so forth, tiredness after meals. But one of the more serious issues is something called gastroparesis, which, to loosely explain it, is basically extra slow digestion, which kind of just doesn't work anymore. So the food doesn't make it all the way through your digestive system, or if it does, it takes a long time, leaving you feeling even worse than the symptoms before. So bad bloating, bad gas and things like that. But in some cases, vomiting, because your body just kind of gives up and is like, we need to get rid of this stuff. And that is not fun. So yeah, if you can assist people with breaking down the foods that they're eating better, moving it through the digestive system faster and not necessarily even faster, but just more successfully, that is great. And also, while helping them break down their foods better, you're also going to help them absorb the nutrients from their food better. So if you're consuming protein, you'll absorb more of the protein. If you're consuming say, eggs, which have proteins and fat in there, you're also going to get the nutrients out of there, like choline, vitamin D, different things that are in there. You're going to absorb these vitamins better because you're taking digestive enzymes. So you can get them in the case of, say, just a capsule or a powder. They're available sometimes in like a shot. There's many different ways to get them. Actually, I made a video yesterday, or I published a video yesterday, you can find it on my channel, about a really cool enzyme called P24. And basically, it's a single ingredient formula completely targeted at breaking down proteins to help people get more protein, have less digestive issues, and get more vitamins. So yeah, definitely recommend. There's a ton of space still to run in launching new digestive products, and as a consumer, I would highly recommend considering digestive aid products if you're a GLP-1 user. Even if you're not a GLP-1 user and you're having trouble digesting high protein meals or having trouble digesting meals in general. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and there's 4 different categories of opportunity for the GLP-1 market, and I will see you in the next video.